All right,
There we go.
welcome everybody. This is the CSRN. I think you're number two. All
Okay.
right, all right. This is the CSRN weekly podcast. It's our week in review. I'm Brother Washington Muhammad. I use the pronouns he and him. I'm one of the co-founders of CSRN, along with Mike Leonardi and Jabril Bay. Back in 2014, they had an idea that just regular people like you and me could speak up and advocate for justice and speak truth to power. And it didn't matter if you were a pastor, politician, preacher, or professional. If you know some facts and you want to let people know what's happening, you can do it. And they had this thing called Community Solidarity Day. They asked me to come and help them organize it. And here we are, Jody, 7 years
Yeah. All
seven
these years
years
later.
doing this. And today, if you are listening to us on Spotify or if you're just listening to us in your car, I have on my black hat. I've got on my glasses from Optical and Twix in between. That's our sister, Krishna Moncrief. She has the bus. And I think if I say a few more words, I might get that $50 discount. So she does have the bus. You can find her almost everywhere in the city where there's a pop up. See our sister. These are gray glasses. They're awesome. I have on a black shirt. I've got my chakra beads today. All right. So that's what's up. All right. And as always, I'm dedicated to respecting, protecting, and defending all black bodies, no matter the cost, no matter the gains or loss. And this is the headquarters of Black Lives Matter and Justice or Else. And Jody, I think that I'm probably done said all that I can say for this time. I noticed that you have on some stuff. All right. If you could introduce yourself, I don't even know what to say, but hey, obviously it's dope.
What's up, everybody? Jody J. Summers, child of the system, better known as Spoken Truth. And see, you didn't say it this week, but this week I actually do have on two new pieces from the event that I went to in the
Okay.
Psychic 2 Day Fair. So there are now 28 around my
I
neck.
saw that. I saw it, but I didn't want to say anything. All right, because Dane was watching me.
But for the people out there listening on Spotify, YouTube, or if you just like feel like having us on Facebook Live as you drive from home or going to pick the kids up,
That's
I
right.
am a big brown bear of a man that is covered in tattoos and crystals and stones and bones and artifacts and a whole bunch of other stuff from me traveling and making my dreams into reality and all those good things while making the community a part of that journey.
That's
I
right.
think a lot of entertainers or people, once they get to a certain level, they forget their town, they forget their communities because it's just like green. And I like following the yellow brick road. But there's more about that in my books and
Right.
stuff and everything. But again, for those of you that's been with us since we started from going from in-person video minutes, which you was, I guess, the prequel to what we
Yeah,
have in
I
the
guess so.
podcast
I guess
now.
so.
What used to be what 5-10 minutes of
Right.
us recapping what went on in the meeting to now, we literally, since people still a little touchy and feely about meeting and everything, we go out in the community and do our work individually, and we all come back and share our stories of what's being done, how we can make it better, what we
Right.
went to. Um, as we had before started the show, we said the protest world is a little bit different now. We've already done our marching and our protesting and our fighting and stuff, and sometimes it means you become that entrepreneur. You buy that block, you buy that business, you find a way to use your platform to actually encourage people to do something different. That's the same as a protest to me, whether it be your art, your books. Heck, you make TikToks. As long as you put something educational in there, something that means something, you are doing good work.
All right.
So, to open up, again, this did not come overnight. How it gets to this point from an idea or a want and need to help people is a foundation, a structure, as you will. And this is our mission statement, what keeps us structured and to the point where it's not that we have boundaries, but we do have rules that we don't want to cross
That's right.
because then we won't be ourselves no more. Putting boundaries on something is kind of vague since we are community solidarity
Right.
and we take on missions from all over the place, not just Black Lives Matter or voting stuff for your community or other organizations. I mean, if you come to us and it actually serves a good in the community, we will work with you. Put your commercial on our little videos and
All
stuff.
right.
Make sure to subscribe to
Okay.
our
Yeah.
YouTube and
I guess
everything
we can
like
do
that.
that. All right.
But so let me read this mission statement. We are the Community Solidarity Response Network of Toledo, formed on November 25th, 2014, the day after it was announced that the killer, a Ferguson, Missouri police officer of Michael Brown, an unarmed teenager, would not be indicted. We bring awareness to the injustices experienced by Black men, women, and children who are disproportionately murdered, attacked, provoked, and harassed by law enforcement. Police brutality has to end. We bring awareness to the fact that most often police brutality goes without consequence and accountability. Police impunity has to end. We utilize the tactics of protest, civil disobedience, event disruption, and citizen advocacy to give voice to those who are otherwise voiceless. We facilitate progressive, community based events that help foster self development, and we discuss measures to hold local leadership accountable to their sworn duties, be they politician, clergy, law enforcement, educators, etc., etc. We want justice, equal justice under the law. We want justice applied equally to all, yes, all, regardless of class, creed, or color. For all lives to matter, Black lives, yes, Black lives must matter. And justice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I got something in my snare, my reverb. I can hear some sounds back there.
Hmm. I don't hear any sounds.
You don't hear any sounds?
I don't hear any sounds.
I hear some sounds back there.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know what to say. Maybe we might have to get that checked out. All right. Might have to get that checked
Sounds
out.
like a separate radio show.
Okay. All right. You mean you hearing some echoes?
No,
Like,
like I'm like hearing another show.
oh, is your phone on?
No,
Okay. Well, I don't know. And
you're not
family,
picking nothing else up.
family, we're gonna make sure we check on Jody, all right, because he's hearing another radio show, all right, and we're on the internet, all right. So we'll check on you. Don't look at me like that.
No,
But
no, it was like another podcast in the background. I thought we were reviewing the video, but I guess not.
okay, all right, Jody, family, we're still gonna check on him, all right. Make sure that he's okay. All right. So no, there's no other radio program that's going on right now. What I'm going to go ahead and get into our guiding principles. We're going to take a short break, and if you saw the tagline for the podcast, you see that we're going to do our post-election recap with Daniel Ortiz. He's
Yeah,
going to come on
that
and
should be very interesting.
right, come on and talk about some of the things that went well, some of the things that could have gone better, and his take. So his take is really my take. So I'll just stamp ditto to whatever he's saying.
That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing your phone. You was watching something.
Oh,
See,
okay.
see, I knew it was something.
Oh,
Your phone is connected to the thing, and that might be coming through the show. Sorry if y'all had to hear that.
okay. If it is my phone, all right, I'm going to make sure that the. You know what? We have the worst tech department ever. This tech department, you
But
know,
see, for the viewers out there and everything, this is what makes our podcast or our show different. We don't take ourselves too seriously.
it makes it suck. That's what it does. That's
But
what it does.
no,
All
it
right.
makes it real because this is stuff that happens. I mean, I hate the fact that I see some stuff and it's scripted. We have a script that we follow,
Okay.
but we're also because eventually, again, we're gonna meet you live. We'll have a live audience, and we'll go back to having in-person meetings. And we're
Okay.
not fake to you. This is
Okay.
like us. If you come in the studio as Daniel and everybody else can attest to, this is actually us. It's not
Right.
a thing for views.
And for everybody that thought I was joking Jody out by saying that he's listening to another radio broadcast, that was my phone, and it's connected to the Bluetooth, our equipment. And for some reason, nobody told me to disconnect my Bluetooth because we don't have anybody calling in like a radio show. So you were hearing some things. All right. This time. All right. This time. Hey, we're going to get into our guiding principles. This is the thing that we utilize so that we don't implode. And having a grassroots organization and having all of our personalities, different backgrounds, and in everything. How do we keep it together? Well, it's our guiding principles. These are the CSRN guiding principles. All Black lives matter. Queer Black lives, trans Black lives, formerly and presently incarcerated Black lives, poor working class Black lives, differently abled Black lives, Black men and women lives, immigrant Black lives, Black elderly and children lives. All Black lives matter and are the creators of this space. We throw no one under the bus. We rise together. Ashe?
Ashe.
And Ashe means one who changes a thing or one who makes a thing happen. And remind me, we're going to be talking about Kwanzaa later on too, all right? Thriving instead of surviving. Our vision is based on the world we want, not the one we're currently in. We want our people to, we seek to transform, not simply react. We want our people to thrive, not just exist. Think beyond the possible. Ashe?
Ashe.
Experimentation and innovation must be built into our work. Embrace the best tools, practices, and tactics, and leave those behind that no longer serve us. Ashe?
Ashe.
Evaluation and assessment must be built into our culture. Critical reflection must be a part of all of our work. We learn from our mistakes and our victories. Ashe?
Ashe.
Principal struggle can exist in a positive environment. We must be honest with one another by embracing direct, loving communication. Ashe?
Ashe.
Love, self-love is practiced in every element of all we do. Love and self-love must be a driver of our work and an indicator of our success. Without this principle and without healing, we will harm each other and undermine our movement. Ashe?
Ashe.
360-degree vision. We honor past struggles and wisdom from elders. The work we do today builds the foundations of movements of tomorrow. We consider our mark on future generations. Ashe?
Ashe.
Self-care means we build resilient spaces by budgeting time, energy, and resources for healing. Self-care is a regular, consistent, intentional, and essential practice. Ashe?
Ashe.
The most directly affected people are experts at their own lives and should be in leadership at the center of our movement and telling their stories directly. Ashe?
Ashe.
Training and leadership development should be fundamental. Our movement must constantly grow and leadership must constantly multiply. Ashe?
Ashe.
And before we move forward and take a short break, we're going to come back, Jody. Our Nguzu Saba word today is Kuji Shagalia. That means self-determination. And that's defined as to define ourselves, name ourselves, and create for ourselves and speak for ourselves. So be looking out for some more information on Kwanzaa 2023 that we're going to have that at the Frederick Douglass starting December 26th, 6 o'clock.
Okay,
all
so
right.
it's back at the Frederick Douglass.
We're back.
I know it was last year.
We were no, I think we were virtual last year.
Yeah, it was the year before that. We were at the building behind us.
At King?
Yeah.
Okay. I think we were at King Academy. And man, this will be
now Frederick Douglass back around.
Right. We're back. Right. We're back. We'll be back at Frederick Douglass. So come out and meet myself and Mother Diane Gordon, who is the chairperson of Toledo Kwanzaa House. Hey, we're going to take a short break. We're going to come back with, our post-election recap. This is the CSRN Video Minutes. We will be right back.
Cheers.
All right. Well, we didn't go off yet, so they're still seeing us talk and banter. All right. We can't catch a break with this, whoever this tech crew is. Hey, we'll be right back.
Now you can get the same uncompromising truth you've come to expect from the Final Call newspaper on all your connected devices. Subscribe to the Final Call Digital Edition today. Go to subscribe.finalcalldigital.com.
Did you know addiction is a disease, not a moral dilemma? The opioid epidemic and substance use have a major impact on communities of color and many people's lives. Wasion Wellness Recovery Support Center offers culturally relevant inpatient and outpatient behavioral health treatment and recovery support services to any Ohioan struggling with addiction, mental health, or finding sober-safe housing. We must recognize that treatment is available and accessible to all. If you are in need of treatment or want to find out more information, you can call 1-888-728-2713 to talk to someone or schedule an appointment.
All right, we are back. This is the CSRN, our weekly video minutes, or we call it our weekend review. As you know, I'm Brother Washington Muhammad, and we have with us our brother Daniel Ortiz. And also in the tagline, you'll see our post-election recap with Daniel Ortiz. So if you could introduce yourself, what are you wearing, and really, after running a campaign, I hardly ever see people still involved. Usually after they run their campaign, I don't see them ever. So who you are, what do you have on, and why are you still around?
Well, my name is Daniel Ortiz, like you said. Glad to be here with you once again. Like you mentioned, I ran for Toledo City Council last year. I ran for state representative this year in the primary. And today I'm here with you. I'm wearing some more local clothing. I've got the Mud Made shirt on underneath this Jute Mode hoodie, gray and white hoodie that says Toledo, Ohio on it. And I've got my my Booney Patch Co. Chartreuse beanie on. And really running for office is like the first thing I did to be involved.
Yeah.
And so to me, it was just the beginning. I know it's a really backwards way to do it, but it just kind of worked out that way. I wouldn't necessarily recommend that to anybody else. If someone else told me, you know, hey, I'm looking to get involved, I'm looking to try and make a difference in my community. There's a lot of other ways I would say to get started first, rather than just going right for the ballot. But you also never know when it's your time, you know.
That's
So
right.
Yeah, that's just the beginning for me. I don't know if I will run again for sure, but you know, I'm leaving my options open. And right now, I want to be involved. I want to help other people because I ran because I think we need more good people holding these elected offices and more diverse group of people from all different walks of life, not just diversity in terms of like race and gender, but in terms of background and economic status and upbringing and all that. So, you know, I really hope what's next for me directly would be to help somebody run and get in one of those seats. So today, you know, we said via text, kind of wanted to do like an election recap.
Yeah.
So the midterms are over. It was a week ago today. Pretty interesting results nationwide, I would say. I think it was kind of a given that for Democrats, it was going to be a bad night. Really, the party that wins the presidency, their next election is, you know, that next midterm is negative for them. It's going back, you know, 20, 30 years. It's always been the case. Obama in 2010, Democrats got absolutely wiped out.
Right.
Donald Trump lost the House of Representatives in 2017, you know, so, or in 2018, I mean. So, but, you know, Democrats kind of held serve for a variety of reasons, which I think is pretty interesting. But here in Ohio, definitely not the case.
Right.
Republicans won the statewide races, you know, governor, secretary of state, auditor, all of those. They won them running away. It wasn't even, frankly, close. Tim Ryan was able to outperform a little bit, but still lost the senator race to JD Vance. And here locally, in the state house, we had 2 seats that were basically drawn to be quote unquote toss up seats,
Right.
based on the last presidential election. And Democrats lost both of them. Stung pretty bad for me. I worked on Nancy Larson's campaign, and I volunteered a lot for Erica White. And those were 2 really good candidates that would have done a lot of good work in the state house. But they lost, and Erica was really up against it. She's going up against Derek Marin, who may end up being the Speaker of the House for the Republicans next year. And both Derek Marin and Nancy Larson's opponent, Josh Williams, they were really well funded. I mean, they were getting money from these PACs that are funded by the Waltons and the DeVosses and stuff like that. So, facing that uphill battle, I really think that the results of all the elections kind of show the myriad effects of gerrymandering, because it's one thing to say, okay, this district's been gerrymandered so that a Republican wins it, or so that a Democrat wins it.
Right.
But so let's look at our brother Elgin Rogers, who, congrats to him, he won his race. He's actually starting early. He's starting next week. And in his race, only about 12,000 people voted in his district, versus in Nancy Larson's race, about almost 50,000 people voted. And Elgin's race was drawn to be really, really favorable to Democrats. So was not really a question of who was going to win that race. And so without a competitive race, or even anywhere near anything resembling competition, that's a whole line off the ballot that people won't be compelled to come out to vote for. And that's, I'm sure that Elgin was still out there talking to people. I'm sure he was, I know he was still going to events and still campaigning. But his opponent didn't really do anything but put up a few yard signs,
And I can add, Elgin also, he had stopped by here a couple of weeks ago, with in between his schedule. So big shout out to Elgin for not only campaigning in the community, but also coming to this space, knowing what we represent as advocates, for our people, the poor and the oppressed, that he would also step into this space. And for those that are running for office, this is a special space to be in, to get people out to vote. And people look to us we don't approve anybody or validate people, but people think a lot about the people that come here.
Right.
So hopefully next time, for anyone that's running for office, if you're a Democrat or Republican, don't slight this space that we have, so that you can talk about your agenda, your campaign, and what do you want people to see. So big shout out again to Elgin for being fearless enough to come into this space and speaking to our people. And it appears that they must have heard him.
Yeah. I mean, so he, like I said, he actually, because he is sort of taking Paula Hicks Hudson's seat, and she won. She is now a state senator, and she's taking Teresa Fetter's seat, and Teresa Fetter kind of resigned early.
Right.
So now Paula is going to start that term early, and so then Elgin will start early.
Okay.
So Elgin's on his way to Columbus next week. So
Right.
Congrats to him. But again, like, when they draw these maps a certain way, and talk about the gerrymandering, I mean, Nancy Larson had to run. She had every kind of community you could have in one district, because her district went from Berkey on the Fulton County line all the way out to Jerusalem Township outside of Oregon. So she had to get out all those different places and speak to all those different kinds of people. And what happened in Lucas County is turnout was low. It was 44%. I think we can do a lot better than that, but turnout was actually higher in the suburban and exurban areas, and it was really depressed in the city. So when Nancy Larson had parts of North Toledo in her district, that didn't come out to vote. And Erica White had all of the old South End and South Toledo, and that didn't come out to vote. Those are where, Democrats could have done better, and candidates
Right.
like them could have done better. And the thing is I know that they reached out to those communities, and turnout was still really low. And I'll be a broken record on this. Voting to me is like step one of trying to make any kind of change. I'm not saying that if all you got to do is go vote and everything's going to change, we're going to fix it all at the ballot box. That's naive. But I think it's also silly to say, well, my vote doesn't matter, I'm just not going to go, because that's to me, it's the easiest thing we can do. And so when you have parts of Lucas County that are some of the lowest turnout in the entire state, I mean, these people are just forfeiting what I think is one of our most like core rights.
True.
And
True.
you're just giving it up for no reason, because I actually canvassed North Toledo with Nancy Larson, and I was in Old South End for Erica White Sunday before Election Day, so I know that they did reach out. And maybe it didn't connect, maybe it didn't cross over. People are jaded. I know that there's a lot of factors. This is a really complicated thing.
Yes, it is.
But I still just, man, I how would you feel if I told you couldn't vote anymore? You know what I mean? You wouldn't just take that, but so many people just, they let it go.
Yeah, and not speaking for the people that don't vote, because I do vote, but I also believe that the politicians, they don't help the issue. Because when you come into our community and you talk about everything except what we want to hear,
Sure.
And that does happen. So for Nancy, I met Nancy. She's come to some of our events. I met Erica. She's come to our events. So all Elgin, Nancy, and Erica are solid. But it's up to the candidates to do some studying
Sure.
on those communities.
Right. I don't want to say like that either of them lost because of those communities or anything like that. That's not
Okay.
That's not the point I'm trying to make.
Okay.
And I when I think of those areas, when I think of especially like North Toledo, I feel like we also have to give people a reason to want to come out to vote, to make them believe that we can do something for them.
I agree.
Right. Especially here in the city, we're going to have city council elections coming up again next year. And I think you're going to want to come to some of those people with some receipts of like, here's what we actually did for your neighborhood, for your area. We have to do more of that. We have to do more outreach. We have to be around for more than election time too. We can't just show up 2 weeks before the election, say vote for me in peace.
True.
And then come back in 2 years or whatever it is. Having more of a presence year round. I know some people are working on this, and a lot of candidates do this, and they do a good job, and they're usually the ones who win and get people motivated to turn out to vote for them. But there's more on the ballot than just the people, right? So
that's right.
There's all these other issues, there's the levies, there's everything else. And I just mean, 56% of our county just didn't even come out to give their vote on that. It's rough.
Right. And even though 50% didn't come out, the 50% that did was a huge improvement from the last time, which I thought it was maybe about 8%.
Yeah.
And that's horrible. So, and I manage a voting site, and I saw a huge increase in people coming out to vote, even though a huge increase from 8%, to 48%, still not, we're still batting under 500.
Right.
And for the next person that decides to canvass to be elected, we also have to inspire the people to come out, because a lot of us are jaded.
Right.
And some of us may,
and rightfully so. I mean,
and some of us may not vote as a vote of no confidence.
Yeah.
And no vote is still a vote.
That's true.
All right. So we have the right to vote, but also our vote still has to be earned. And I think that sometimes the candidates miss that. We talk about you have a right to vote, but we don't hear why you should earn our vote. And I think that's the thing that I've seen from lots of candidates that I've talked to. If you can't inspire people to come out to vote, people are not going to vote just because they have the right.
Right.
You know. Hey, listen, I've got Omar Gent in the green room. I wanted to ask another question before we switch over to Omar.
Yeah.
All right. You called it issue 21, and we wanted Mike Beasley to come on. Obviously, looks like we really didn't need to. All right. But it didn't pass.
Yeah, I really didn't know how that was going to go. It really felt like the result might have ended up being random because, early voting is going on, and I had people reaching out to me and saying, "Hey, I just went and voted. What's issue 21 about?" Because I didn't understand it. Yeah. I just clicked yes, or I just clicked no. Because I didn't get it. And I really think that, to me, that the issue that I had with it was, it was 3 pages, I think, on the voting machine. Right. That's a lot to hoist onto people. When they're in the ballot box, you can come in knowing the candidates you're going to vote for, whether you're going to vote yes or no on the issues, which, by the way, all the tax levies passed, the libraries passed resoundingly, which is great. As we sit here in Mott Branch Library. And so, yeah, issue 21 went down, and I think it's mostly because it was just too much kind of all packaged together. I felt like it was unfair to the voters to put that much, because I liked a lot of what's on there. I actually maybe liked everything that was on there, but I didn't like it all being in one group, because there were some good parts. I think at the same time, out in Oregon, they had 4 different charter amendments. I think Maumee had 3 or 4. So I don't understand why they could separate their charter amendments out and we had a 12-for-1 deal. I think they could have, maybe they could even propose all the same changes again and kind of group them by, whether it's an administrative thing, a clerical thing, whatever it is, whatever the categories are, you could break it up into 3 or 4 different categories,
right,
and maybe take another crack at it. Because again, I'm not necessarily against any of the changes that were on there. But I think they were definitely worth discussing on their own merit too. And anytime you do, extending the term limits for mayor, or the change that would kind of let people that are appointed to city council have those years not count against their term limits, I think that's something that kind of warrants a broader discussion, because I've heard pretty good arguments for and against both of those things. And it's hard to have a discussion on a detailed discussion on those issues, right, when it was all kind of crammed into one thing. So, yeah, it didn't pass, and we'll see what they do next with those changes, if they try to get some of them passed again or not.
All right. Hey, listen, we're gonna take a short break. We're gonna come back with our brother Omar Gent, freeourbrothers.com. And listen, brother, once again, thank you for being here. And I think that maybe later on we may have a couple other questions to really ask regarding the election recap. This is the CSRN Video Minutes. We will be right back.
I'm Dr. P. Not only am I a leadership coach, I'm a change agent, and I'm a race scholar. I've used my study of race to dismantle systems and organizations, but I also use that to help you as the individual become a better leader for your families and for your community.
This is the CSRN weekly, I guess, podcast week in review. I'm Brother Washington Muhammad, he, him. And in our green room, we have our brother Omar Gent, who recently was a confined citizen. And we are so glad that our brother is amongst those who are less confined. All right. We're not all the way free, but we're a bit less
Not
confined.
standing behind great walls and bars and stuff like that.
Right, right.
Okay, good. Yeah,
All right,
yeah,
okay. You
that
look like
was
you was
sound
getting
check.
ready to do a spoken word. Sound like.
A little bit later.
All right, all right. And let's bring our brother on. Brother Omar, how you doing, brother?
Peace, brother. Man, that beat you playing got me ready to spit some bars. That beat you playing, I was like, hey, turn that up.
I hope we don't get no copyright infringement. All right.
Oh, wow, it hasn't got none yet.
All right. Hey, brother Omar, listen, brother. We for the past 5+ years, we would listen to you, call in on the telephone. We would be sitting around a table and we'd have our phone on speaker and listen to you talk about really encouraging us and also talking about what's happening in the belly of the beast. Now we have you right here. All right. And it's awesome to see you. So first, how you doing, my brother?
God is good. Just been doing some traveling today. They got me signed up for this so-called treatment, post-incarceration treatment, but you can learn anything from if you choose, you can learn something from anything.
That's right.
So I'm going in with the right attitude, even though I absolutely do not trust these people and their structures at all.
Well, take the good out of it, because a lot of our brothers that have been incarcerated, a lot of us never got a chance to have that bridge back to society, with giving us some basic skills of being able to be debriefed from spending 5 years, 14, and take all the good that you can out of this, because soon we're going to need you. All right. We're going to need you. So whatever hoops they have us jumping through, hey, look, brother, your mission is to come out of there. All right. And if we've got to be disciplined, if we got to humble ourselves to sit in those meetings, all right, listening to what you listen to, let's make it through, brother. We definitely need you out here on the front line. We definitely do, brother. Definitely. And listen, earlier we talked about, give me 1 second.
And while he's giving you a good second, how's your day been otherwise so far?
And it's just great. God is good. Moving around, at least I can move around, and I'm able to get the opportunity to come on this show and just connect with the people. So it's beautiful. It's always a blessing.
Good, good. Yeah, fresh air is nice, open spaces and everything like that. I know we're getting into winter, all that stuff. People are freaking out, like, why is it cold? Like, seasons have to happen for everything to be normal. If it don't have seasons,
Yeah.
something's wrong.
All right, I am back. I've got double duty. When I open up, sometime I say I'm an active and registered member of the Nation of Islam, and if you know anything about the Nation of Islam, you have the brothers that are called the FOI, and FOI means Fruit of Islam, and that's the name given to the men who belong to the military of the Nation of Islam, and that's the name given to the training of the men who belong to the Nation of Islam. And man, we do so much organizing and planning. And I was just returning a text to one of our brothers that we're actually having a meeting right now, and I'm telling them, hey, look, I'm on my way, but I'm really, if they log in online, hey, brothers, I'm right here. So, but y'all got my information, all right? Y'all know how what it is. So, brother, it's awesome to have you here. One of the questions that's been swirling around is the truth about us as a people and who we are. There's lots of literature that talks about who we are beyond African American, beyond Negro. And there was recently a book and a documentary that's been on Amazon since 2018 called Hebrews from Hebrews to Negroes. And it appears that whenever we're talking about us as a people, if our definition of who we are does not jive well with our former slave masters and their children, there's a lot of backlash. All right. I can take all the smoke. I know who I am, I know who I'm not. And I wanted to ask you, why should we now continue to search for the truth about who we are and not back down from the truth? What are your thoughts on that, brother?
Well, a group of people, a nation of people is like a tree, and a tree can grow very tall, but it's only as strong as its roots. I know that being from Florida, one of the reasons is the palm trees don't, um, get destroyed when the hurricanes come because they have very strong roots and the roots go very deep, so they're able to withstand that pressure. When you see houses and roofs blowing off, the palm tree is still there. It's like I got roots.
That's right.
So knowledge of self is knowledge of God, knowledge of self is awareness of all that is your roots. So same thing like with a building, your building can go 150 stories up in the air, but the foundation is not secure. Better watch out.
That's right.
So it's not time to back down from knowledge of self, because anytime someone's trying to deprive you of finding out who you are, their agenda is to keep you in oppression or destroy you. I saw that just being in prison. They had a problem with me reading the Nation of Islam newspaper, the Final Call newspaper. I'm like, why y'all got a problem with that? You don't have a problem with these guys in here looking at magazines that's, not to judge anybody, but that's putting women down, they're selling women to guys. You don't have no problems with these Aryans getting these tattoos with these obvious Aryan symbols in them, but I can't get the Final Call newspaper, because it's teaching me knowledge of self and awareness. Why you want to keep me asleep? Oh, we don't want to keep you asleep. Yeah, okay, okay. So knowledge of self awakens you, and it's very important to not shy away from that.
Yes, sir. Now, for you recently released, um, what is it that keeps you from being bitter? Because I meet a lot of brothers that come out, and a lot of brothers find religion who were behind bars. I was one of them. All right. So here I am out here thinking that everybody owes me everything. All right. I didn't, that's just the way I felt. I had to come to the realization that nobody owes me anything. And if I want something, I'm going to have to get it myself. Um, what is it that keeps you from becoming bitter and then making that mistake of that quick money, quick scheme thing that keeps that recidivism so high?
Well, first and foremost, I know the creator has his hands in, his active and permissive will. Nothing happens to us without his permission, and whether our actions led us to a certain decision and it was consequences behind it. People always want to say God or the devil or who else, but sometimes it is you. You did something that put yourself in a circumstance. So I understand that, even though the way I was, snatched up off the streets, wrongfully convicted, wrongfully charged, something I didn't even do,
Yeah,
the creator allowed that to happen to me for a reason. And I did go inside myself. I helped a lot of people through the grace of the creator. Um, a lot of things I would have not learned about myself and the world and our people had I not been locked down. I mean, I took that time and turned it into a university. You
Yes.
know, like the brothers used to say in the Black Panther Party and the Fruit of Islam in the early '60s, '70s, or even now. You know, you take that time and you use prison and make it a university. And the trap of the fast money. I mean, a trap is a trap. You know,
That's right.
you put a bear trap out there, the bear think it's all good till it springs on them. So I know these people are because of my activism, because of my website, because of these conversations with you. I always knew I was being monitored from the beginning.
Yes,
I
sir.
didn't care though. I mean, I was aware, but I could care less if you keep watching, you keep listening. You know.
Right.
So, but I don't want to give them the benefit of seeing me fail.
Right.
I don't want them being like, you know, look at this in there. You know, we told you, we told you, yeah, we told you this. You know, so I don't want to. That's a big factor too in it. Not
Teach,
allowing these people to see me fail.
teach, and you know we have to allow them. It's us not being on post that allow them, that allow us to fall in those traps. So I have to accept the responsibility for my failure. If they have a trap, and if I decide that I want to fall into it, that's on me. It's what they do. They set traps, but at one point we should know better. All right. And as Kanye West had said once, even though it was taken out of context, at one point we're making choices, brother. You know, there were some things that happened in our sojourn in the Holocaust of enslavement that wasn't our choice. But now we have an opportunity to study about ourselves and make some of those changes, if it's economically, if it's spiritually, if it's morally, if it's politically. We have an opportunity now to make some changes. Uh, oh, I also wanted to say there was an article in I think it was in either the New York Times or the Wall Street Journal regarding the uh, January 6th, and there's two groups that they said that were responsible for a lot of the logistics and planning. One was the Oath Keepers, the other was the Proud Boys. But the unifying thread in both were FBI informants were a part of both of those groups. So when you say right, so when you say that we're being monitored, absolutely. All right. The fact that we're on live,
Somebody
the,
else's platform.
right. The fact that we're right. Even if you have a cell phone, we're on somebody else's platform.
Yep.
All right. So it's up to us to decide what we want to do. Hey, listen, before we close, I do want you to, if you can, Brother Omar, if there's anything that you can say to keep our brothers and sisters that are to be uplifted at Toledo Correctional Institution, that's maybe less than, I guess, less than 5 miles from where we are, you know, right now, where we are right now. And we've protested there before because of their treatment of our brothers there. If there's something that you can give our brothers and the families of our brothers there more hope, what would it be, if you don't mind, brother?
um, it will be look at the way the world is changing. You know, we're in a time where the youth are waking up. You know, they're coming out. They're actually coming out the womb with a
Yeah,
lot of fierceness and a lot of thirst. They're thirsting for the truth. So don't give up. I mean, I was on a bus today and I struck a conversation with a sister, helping her get on the bus. And I'm no puny dude, man. I'm at least 6'2", 230 pounds, solid. And I was just talking to a sister, you know, just being a brother to her.
yes, sir.
And she was like, you know, she's not used to chivalry. And I was just like, okay, well, you know, it's cool because I helped her put her stuff on the bus. And she's like, no, 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 I'm good. And I was like, well, sister, please allow me to help you. So I helped her put her stuff on the bus. And me and her were just talking. We were the only two. You know, her little son was with her. And I guess I was paying her too much attention for his liking. And that boy with a Power Ranger in his hand and gummy bears, he said, who are you and what you trying to do with my mama? I said, my man.
Right.
I said, no disrespect, you know, little man. He said, I ain't little. I said, you know what? I'm gonna address you like the king you are. You're
Teach.
right. No disrespect, young brother, and you're protecting your mother. me and her just having a conversation. No disrespect. And I say that to tell the brothers that the power of God, the power of our ancestors, the legacy is coming through. I see it more and more. Look around you. You're inspiring people. Keep pushing. Don't give up. God is on the side of the oppressed, never the oppressor.
Right. Thank you, brother. Hey, listen, brother Omar, we're going to take a short break. We're going to come back. I think we're going to wrap up some loose ends.
Wrap up the loose ends, say what we've been doing the past couple of weeks since we weren't here last week, of course, because we had our official duty to do. So, yeah.
All right. So, family, stay tuned. This is the CSRN podcast, our week in review. We'll be right back.
Pathway Incorporated Brothers United program believes that children are important. Every day we support and advocate for fathers because when children have involved fathers, the whole community thrives. The fathers that come into the Brothers United program are mostly young fathers who are primarily gang members or drug dealers or those involved in lots of trauma from the time when they were youth until now. This program has fatherhood classes which teach you about your role as a father, the importance of being a father, healthy relationships, how to co-parent and work better together with your co-parent, and then economic stability, how to get a job, how to keep a job. It is so important for fathers to learn to take care of their children holistically, not just emotionally, not just physically, but financially as well, because children need a holistic approach.
I really just needed help with really being a better father and looking for a job to be able to support my kids.
Some of the problems I was facing when I joined Brothers United was communication with my children. Had some time apart from each other for a while, so they gave me the tools to really get back in communication with them.
Fathers will come into our program with their heads down. 2 weeks later, their heads are up. 3 weeks later, they're laughing and talking. 4 weeks later, they're building a bond. And by the time we get to 8 weeks, they're saying, hey, we want to stay here. What can we do to stay connected?
It gave me a better perspective on how to look at things from other people's point of view. You know, sometimes us as men, we get caught up in being prideful and arrogant, thinking we don't need the help. We do. And we just have to put our pride, selfishness, and arrogance to the side. And when the help is there, take it.
Hope plays the most important role in everything that we do because we have to have hope. We have to remember that fathers are important, and we have to not only say it, but we have to live it, we have to breathe it, we have to do it, we have to convey it to everyone.
Let's get a VU Nation on 3, fellas. 1, 2, 3. VU Nation!
The dads give us hope. The dads supply for us on the days when it gets hard. On the days when we've seen more violence than we ever want to see. On the days when we've lost some dads to jail or to murder, they give us hope. And so the hope that lives can change, if you invest in them, if you believe in them, then lives can change.
Brothers United changed my life, let's say, because of where I come from, what I've been through. I learned to understand it is help out there. Don't be scared to ask for it. If you don't reach, you can't grab. That's it.
They made me more employable, more desirable by employers, which in turn helped me provide for my family and provide for my children and my grandchild. So it makes me a better man, a better father, and a better example.
It showed me like how to be better to my kids, so I went and got custody of my son. My son been with me for a couple months now. So this showed me how to be a better parent all around, just a better man, period.
Initially, I didn't know that it could change men's lives. I didn't know that fathers could change. But it's amazing to me when fathers come back a year later, 2 years later, and tell us thank you. Or they'll make a Facebook post and say, look at what I'm doing now. It's amazing to me about the level of work that we've been able to do and the lives that we've changed in just a short period of time. And the fathers who come back and say, thank you, I needed you, and you were there.
Shout out to Brothers United, man.
All right, we. How, why did it take so long for us to come back? Oh man, hey,
Are we back?
yeah, we're
Okay,
back.
yeah.
We're back. We're back. I'll tell you. No, we ain't gonna talk about our tech crew. They do pretty good. All right, we're not gonna just come down hard on them. Hey, listen, we're in that 7:30 hour. We know what time it is. I've got one shout out and solution and some loose ends. Kwanzaa is coming up, and the Toledo Kwanzaa House will be having Kwanzaa for the 7 days starting Monday, December 26th, all the way through Sunday. If I'm not mistaken, that's January 1st. So come on out with us. I have the first day, which is Umoja Unity, and our creative expression is going to be mystery music. Our brother Eric Dixon, and we're going to try to pull some strings and see if we can have spoken truth, child of the system, come and just bless the mic if he can. And also
Might make a special appearance like Santa.
right, and also our value speaker. Man, I'm looking to have our brother Stephen Lewis of the Delroy Chance Angel Wings Foundation. So, brother Stephen, if you're watching this now, I done shouted you out as a potential person to give our value speech on unity. And they had a dynamic, um, man, what was it? A banquet for Angel Wings, maybe a few weeks ago. Definitely at the Stranahan. Awesome. So many people showed up for a really, really good cause. So be on the lookout for Kwanzaa. I don't have any artwork or flyers right now. And also, I'll be on the lookout for us to show that documentary, that video, from Hebrews to Negroes. And it's a 3-hour documentary. So we may have to put it in, break it in halves.
Part one, part two.
Yeah, part
Two day
one,
event. I think that could work.
part one, part two, so you can come and see for yourself. All right, what these brothers and sisters done and putting together this documentary. It's well sourced, meaning that there's no opinions. It's all well sourced. So anything that you see in there, you can go readily go look it up, see that it's true, you about us in our sojourn here. So be looking out for that from Hebrews to Negroes. We're going to find a really nice spot space to show that. Doing it part one, part two.
Yep.
May have some time to dialogue, afterwards.
In
So
between, usually part one, have a dialogue. See you next. See you. See part two.
that's right.
Next part two. Here's a recap, sort of, but
Right.
you know,
And it's
have
all
to go
about
read
us.
it yourself.
Right. And it's all about us rising up. That's what it's really about. It's about us rising up. It's about us accepting our own and being ourselves. So those are the things that I wanted to. Am I hearing something in the? Oh, I thought I was hearing that radio broadcast that you were listening to. So Jody, you had some
Some
loose
loose
ends.
ends and stuff.
Yeah.
So since you guys haven't seen us in a couple weeks, just a quick recap of everything that's going on. Of course, we have our midterms and stuff like that. Shout out to everybody that voted on 21. My election site did awesome. We had over 1,500 people there, and that was
That's a
just
lot.
counting just the normal people.
Yeah.
That wasn't. We had curbside. We had absentee people had to come in. We had some people who had just changed the location. Kids, people were bringing their kids and their friends, so that made me really happy. I know numbers everywhere, but as being an election official, I'm not saying exactly how many years, but enough years to where this put a smile on my face. And then the people that engaged and were asking, especially about 21
Okay.
and stuff like that. Other than that, of course, we had the Enchanted Mystics Fair. I think I talked about it on the last show. That was also picked up some new pieces. You hear something in the background. Not
Hey,
sure what it
we're
is,
not
but
here-
anyway.
right. Whatever it is.
So there was a showing of the Hollow Poems movie, and that was awesome. Oh, I know what that is. We still have Omar, so we got him in the background.
Okay.
I like what's that? Anyway, we had the Hollow Poems, one of the movies that I'm in. It showed here at my branch. Unfortunately, I was doing the 2-day Enchanted Mystic Arts thing, but shout out to CC for letting me be a part of that wonderful movie that you decided to see vision to reality. November, they had their Lifeline. Shout out to Steve North, same cafe, that whole group of people who are doing great things in the city. Let's see, the Truth Art Gallery again, another thing. They had their relaunch with Nicola Colors, so she's doing stuff there as the curator and everything like that. So shout out to her and Fletcher. I went by there. It looks great. It looks awesome. If you want to know how to get your art in there or do an event in there, contact her. In Black-owned art gallery on Adams Street. Just a couple other things for quick things. Flaunt, that's where I was this weekend. It was the Equality Toledo's kind of major big fundraiser. It's a fashion show. It's hiding out to everybody in college and stuff. I did a couple fashion shows.
Okay.
Shout out to Shawanda Johnson and Fame Studio.
Oh, wow.
That's our connection to knowing each other. You may not
Okay.
know it, but you know, I did some fashion stuff back
Just
in the
name
day.
dropping. Okay, all right. We see
But,
you out there.
It was good. Monique Ward, Autumn Janine, who's a wonderful friend of mine. She actually wraps these when they get worn after some years and stuff. The only person I actually let touch my stones without me being present. And Monique Ward, again, I've known her for years, way back in the Owens days and stuff. And then even at the Caribbean Breeze when she was just going into QTI modeling and stuff like that. Now, hey, traveling internationally. I saw you
She
in
doing
Paris.
it.
Yeah.
She doing it.
I'm happy for all of my friends because that is growth. That is how things happen. You work at it, you fail, you make mistakes, but you keep going. So Flaunt was wonderful, by the way. Shout out to all the sponsors. Shout out to everybody. I showed some sneak peeks and stuff like that, but it was really good. I might actually, model next year. We'll see.
Okay.
I mean,
Thanks for the warning,
anything's
but okay.
possible.
Anyway,
You
all
might get
right.
to see me without the hat. Other than that, there was some open mics going on. I try to catch them as much as I can, but Frederick Douglass Center on the 13th, they had a community self-care day. So shout out to, I want to make sure I got the right. Yes, Cold. I did see her at the Enchanted thing too, as well. And she was telling me, but I work, I can't be everywhere. So those are some community shout out to Junction Community, Junction Coalition and all the stuff they're doing for the community. Now, so we can end the show and we don't get kicked out of here because they blink the lights and everything back there. And we appreciate you as always for staying with us for all these years, for donating. We got wristbands, yard signs, cups, all that good stuff. Check out the website. And just for hey, if it's one viewer or two viewers, I know I can't keep touching the table. I'm touching the table right now.
I forgot to do.
We got some shaking.
I forgot to do the CSRN plug too. So did you want me to do that before?
I think for the new people, click, go back. This is our recorded history, even though it is on somebody else's platform. This is why we do our podcast. We're not sponsored by somebody who can say, you went a little too far on that. We're just going to cut that show. So we keep our own history. So, Brother Washington, for our 5 minutes of heat, we got two choices from two different books. This is Lit 128.
Okay.
I think you can see that a little bit.
Okay.
The book that I did in New York, this was their first edition. And I was very lucky to be performing at the New Eurekan for 6 months virtually and met some wonderful people. So shout out to you. Everybody that's in this book is an anthology of a whole bunch of people by Andrew Flesher and Yu Zhao. I'm probably saying her name wrong, and I'm so sorry, but
no
love
one
to see
will
you
ever
guys
know
on the virtual thing.
Go
So,
ahead.
Brother Washington, you can pick one of the poems from this book,
Okay.
or of course, the 10th book, the book with the butterfly on it, which I will be reading tomorrow. Shameless plug at Lucille's tomorrow inside of Toll House. I have a feature performance over there that I have the book.
Oh, you performing
band
at
behind.
Toll House?
Yeah, for the second time.
Oh,
except this
they
time
won't
on the
even let
feature.
they don't even let me in there.
Yeah, you got my
They don't
name
let me in
signed on the
there.
wall.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right. So for the 128 lit book, how do I pick a poem?
So would you want one of the poems out of 128 or childhood trauma series?
Okay, that's what you said. All right. Let's hear one from 128 because you're going to be at Lucille's tomorrow.
Yep, I'm gonna be at Lucille's with
And
books and crystals and stones and all that good stuff. So make sure you got.
That's
the
like an
ticket
important
and
place.
Come out. And,
Only let few, just the upper crust in there. All
it's
right.
consistency.
They still won't let me get in there.
Hey, it's only $10 tomorrow if you come before 6
Oh,
or come by 6.
okay,
So
that
open
hurts my
mic, if
heart.
you want to do the open mic, it's at 7 o'clock. Some more shameless plug.
All right,
So
Lucille.
we have from this book, Night Speak or Minor Worries.
Let's have Night Speak.
Okay.
I felt some type of way about that.
Yeah, and we are reordered on 128, so make sure you pick up your copy. We did sell out of the first shipment, but support this anthology of authors and creators and illustrators from literally all over the world. We had everywhere from Germany, Japan, the United States, Europe, Africa in this book. So
All right.
check it out.
That's
It's
what's up.
really good. Happy to be a part of it. So this is Night Speak by Sage Ravenwood. I've never spoken this before, so if you're watching out there, Sage, hope I do you justice. Let's begin. Peace. When you heard the rain tapping gently outside your window, pebble tinged, a lover's innocent plea to be let in, sweat draped in cotton sheets, screen shifted, breeze floating bare skin before your nail torn larynx scream, asphyxiated, hatched, spiderling, pouring from every orifice, wood choked whispers, storm sheep, knowing want and desire are different beasts, squandering retaliation on forgivable regret. Who pays the piper to chase uncounted sheep? Delinquent soothsayer, childlike prayers, when you can't forget whose voice never shuts up. In your head, a familiar stranger, memories sewn into a taut fitted skin suit, bodied by touch, well slapped birthing, and you want to pierce the heart of every white knight who failed to save the possessed maiden. Virginity's broken vessel has a female body. It's dark in the dark beneath ghost lids. The night splits up, chewed morsels of cognition, endless rooms in a house of woke with no escape. Every ex-lover is holding a hatchet of mistake. Our dank sub-duality, drum, grown quiet, curtains tangled into knotted links of noose, stagnant slumbers, bloated corpse awakening to sunrise, persuasive, red-tinged cleaving, drawn filters through eyelashes ensnared, brain fog. Do you remember the kindness of sleep? Okay. It's an interesting poem.
All
I've
right.
never read
And
it
as
before, so
always,
it's,
we snap our fingers. All right. That was
Some
definitely
poetry.
interesting. Definitely. And that was Night Speak.
That was called
by
Night Speak by Sage
Ravenwood.
Ravenwood.
All right.
Again, I hope I did it justice. I try and read as if I read what I saw. So,
All right. Hey, family. And as we said before, if you like what we do, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, share it, make a comment. This is our YouTube channel. Come on, family. We need at least more subscribers than we have now. I'm not going to say how
help
many
us to
we
get
have.
to 100. Help us to get to
Help us.
100.
Oh, okay.
Because at 100,
How did you
I
know
see
we were
you
under
unlock some.
100?
Well, you unlock some things as I'm just
Okay, all
finding
right,
out for
okay,
being on
all right,
YouTube. Hey,
okay.
I'm not too ashamed to say my YouTube doesn't do nearly as well as my other
All
social
right.
medias, but at 100, you can do some other stuff.
Okay.
So we can make posts and,
All right.
and some other
Help us
stuff.
get to 100, family. And if you like what we do, you can check us out on Instagram. You can check us out on Facebook, Spotify, YouTube, and Twitter. If you want to support what we do, you can support it via Cash App. That's cash tag 419. And PayPal is CSRN 419. And listen, don't forget our Black Lives Matter signs. We've got those on deck.
Got the
All right,
signs.
$10. We got our defund the police, just in case you forgot. We got plenty of those. All right, Brother Omar, any questions or comments before we close out, brother?
Beautiful piece, brother Jody. I appreciate that, and thank you for bringing me on the show, y'all. It's beautiful.
Yes, sir. And
always a pleasure.
And right now, you ready to close out with the solidarity pledge?
I think so. Before they shut the lights off on us.
All right, I'm gonna say I, and you say I, and then repeat after me. And we might want to give Omar, since we got 2-minute lag, we might want to give him a chance to say I, so we can say it kind of at the same time. All right, say I.
I.
Your name.
Jody.
Omar.
Pledge to strive.
Pledge to strive.
Pledge to strive.
To love my brothers and my sisters.
To love my brothers and my sisters.
To love my brothers and sisters.
As I love myself.
As I love myself.
As I love myself.
I. Your name.
Jay Summers.
Omar.
Pledge to strive.
Pledge to strive.
Pledge to strive.
To improve myself.
To improve myself.
To improve myself.
Spiritually.
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 Mentally.
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 Morally.
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 And physically.
And physically.
And physically.
For the benefit of myself.
For the benefit of myself.
For the benefit of myself.
My family.
My family.
My family.
And my people.
And my
people.
I. Your name.
Child of the system.
Omar.
Pledge to strive.
Pledge to strive.
Pledge to strive.
To be a part of the solution.
To be a part of the solution.
To be a part of the solution.
The process.
The process.
The process.
And not the problem.
And not the problem.
And not the problem.
I. Your name.
Spoken truth.
Omar.
Pledge to strive.
Pledge to strive.
To give all that I could spare.
To give all that I
to give all that I can spare.
Of my time.
Of my time.
My time.
My strength.
My strength.
My strength.
And energy.
And energy.
To achieve.
To achieve.
To achieve.
The above said.
The above said.
All right, I want to thank everybody. I want to thank Daniel Ortiz, our brother Omar Gent, Jody Summers, Child of the System, Spoken Truth, Tears of the Wounded, all of those names. It's that us and we.
We.
Yes, sir.
It takes we to build a community.
That's right. And Brother Omar, thank you once again, brother, for checking in and doing the work, brother. Thank you so much. And as we always say, yes, sir. And also, as we always say, all lives can't matter until Black lives
matter.
And Black lives can't matter until all Black lives matter.
matter.
Justice or else.